Hey guys, it's Mark from Lot More Guitar Studio and lotmoreguitar.com, and in this lesson I'm going to show you my 5 favorite licks from Stevie Ray Vaughan's legendary performance of Little Wing at the El Mocambo in 1983. One of my favorite concerts of all time. Pretty hard to choose only 5 licks from this one. There's so many good ones, but these are the ones that kind of jump out at me. I'll include a link to the video in the description, but right now let's check out lick number 1. Okay, so before we take a look at the first lick, I just want to mention that although Stevie is playing in E-flat tuning on his signature Strat, I'm going to play in standard tuning on my PRS. This way you can play along more easily and not have to retune. So the first lick happens about 39 seconds into the video. It's based on a G chord, and he plays a G major pentatonic scale. Okay, so we have the 3rd fret of the 6th string, plays that twice, and then just kind of slides from the 5th to the 7th on the 6th string, and then goes to the 5th fret of the 5th string. Now then he hammers on, he always does these little subtle things, hammers on the 7th fret of the 5th string there. So on your way over, okay, you're going to hammer that from 5 to 7 on the 5th string, and then play the 4th string, 5th fret. So, okay, when you reach that, he's going to hammer on and off the 5th and 7th fret on the 4th string, and then play the 7th fret of the 5th string. And when I'm doing that, or when he does that too, I'm trying to get like the 3rd string to ring with it, right? And that gives you that kind of like ringing Hendrix style pentatonic lick. So again, that trill is 5 to 7, then 7th fret of the 5th string, and then back. And I'm kind of playing the 3rd and 4th strings there with it. So, okay, then he immediately grabs the 3rd string 2nd fret and the 2nd string 3rd fret, and these are sliding 4ths. So he's going to pick it and slide up to the 5th fret and 4th here, so from the 3rd and 2nd. You're going to pick that twice when you get there. Slide back and right back up. So, and he uses his middle finger to tell me I can't play like him. But also to kind of mute those other strings. But you can, you don't have to do that. Okay, so the whole thing all together is... Okay, and that's a lick on a G chord, so that's fully transposable, no open string. So if you want to play it in A, same concept, okay? So there's your root. Remember, whenever you learn these licks, always know where your root note is, G. All right, let's take a listen to the next lick. All right, lick number 2 happens about 50 seconds into the performance, and it's based on a B minor chord here. It's one of those classic triplet minor pentatonic licks. So he starts out by playing the bass note of the B minor, and he kind of rakes up the strings here. So you want to kind of mute the 3rd and 2nd, and then kind of roll your finger over so you grab the 1st string on the 7th fret. It does that a lot, and it really helps bring that note out really strong. So, okay, then we're going to pick the 9th fret of the 1st string, which also happens to be the 9th of the scale from a theory perspective. So that's not part of the traditional minor pentatonic, but it works great, and it's often used in these type licks. So I'm going to pick that one, and then we're going to trill on and off the 9th and the 7th frets. So 7 to 9 trill. Okay, then we're going to bend slightly the 2nd string 10th fret and then come down the scale in triplets. Okay, so then we're going to bend the 3rd string 9th fret, and we're going to bar across the 7th fret 2nd and 1st strings and pick those in a triplet pattern also. So it helps to think in groups of 3 there. I'm just counting to 3 here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's not the actual beat, but that'll help. And then you keep coming down the scale to 10th fret, 2nd string, 7th fret, and then a bend on the 9th fret of the 3rd string. And that's the last little triplet there. So, okay, so you can think groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so together. Okay, I'm using my pinky on the 10th fret. I know he uses his 3rd finger a lot, so. Okay, whatever gets the job done there for you. I tend to use my pinky there on the 10th fret, so. Okay, so after you do that bend, you're just going to come back to the 7th fret of the 3rd string with some nice stinging vibrato, and then you're going to end on the 4th string on the 9th fret. So. Okay, and that's on a B minor. It's of course fully transposable. Okay, we go up to C minor. That's how you learn from these things. Be able to transpose it all around. So your root note is 6th string, and in this case it's the 7th fret. All right, let's take a look at lick number 3. So lick number 3 happens around 1 minute and 27 seconds into the performance. And now we're up here in E minor pentatonic at the 12th fret. Okay, he plays this relatively simple blues lick. Okay, but the catch is he plays it while hybrid picking the 12th fret 1st string. So we have this. Okay, so I'm playing the 14th fret of the 4th string, 12th fret of the 3rd, 14th fret of the 3rd, and then you kind of drag it back from the blue note, 15, 14, 12, and then back up to 14. Now you can, with the hybrid picking, you could use your middle finger, 3rd finger, whatever is comfortable for you, and you're going to pinch them together. Okay, and then when he lands on that 14th fret, kind of gets off that string again, so. All right, this is part of a longer phrase, but I really like the way he does that. He does this in a couple of tunes. Mary Had a Little Lamb is another one. And it's kind of an old blues technique to kind of hybrid pick that 1st string or the root note while you play some of these lines. So, then he kind of does this hammer on, 12 to 14, back to 14th fret of the 4th string. And then you're gonna bend the 14th fret on the 3rd string and play the 15th fret of the 2nd string. And then down to the root. So bend, pick the 2nd string, 15th fret, release the bend, pull off 14 to 12, and end on the 14th fret, 4th string. I'm sure many of you have played a lick like that before. It's worth watching the video though, because that's part of a killer phrase after that. But I picked that out as one of my favorite licks because of that hybrid picking. All right, let's take a look at lick number 4 now. On to lick number 4, and this one happens around 2 minutes and 41 seconds into the performance. And it's a little uncharacteristic for Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's a legato line down the G string in the E Dorian scale. So we have something like this. He's going to start it off in the E minor pentatonic scale up here. So you're going to bend on the 14th fret of the 3rd string, release, pull off to the 12th, and slide back to the 11th. So now when you hit the 11th fret, you're going to do a little trill. So that's on and off the 12th fret there, and then slide back to the 9th fret. So, and then when you hit the 9th fret, then hammer on the 11th. So, then pull off to 9, and slide back to 7, hammer on to 9, pull off to 7, and slide back to 6. So that's the note that gives you really the E Dorian scale. It's the major sixth of the scale. It's a C sharp note for all you theory fans out there. So we've got this so far. So when you hit that note on the 6th fret again, you're going to do a trill. So, okay, after that trill, you slide back to the 4th fret, and then you do 2 hammer-ons on the 6th, and then you're going to pull off to the 4th fret again, slide back to the 2nd fret, and I believe this is 3 hammer-ons here, and then you're going to pull off to the 2nd fret, and then pull off to the open string, and then hammer on the 2nd fret to finish it. So we have this slow. Alright, and once he hits that note, he brings the pick back in and just kind of comes down G major pentatonic here. So he kind of does a pull off here. So the open string on the 3rd, then the 4th fret 2nd string, and then kind of like a trill down to the G chord. Okay, he does a lick there after that. So, but we have this slowly again, the whole thing. Remember, he's not picking that at all. In the video, he actually raises his hand up. I'm just kind of muting the strings down here so I don't get them to ring. But... okay, then bring the pick back for this one. Understanding on that G chord there. All right, so that's a great lick for lick number 4. And let's take a look at lick number 5. We have reached lick number 5, and this one happens about 4 minutes and 37 seconds into the performance, and it's part of a ferocious run where he attacks the E minor pentatonic scale the way only Stevie Ray Vaughan can. I took this little snippet out of it, which is what happens at 4 minutes and 37 seconds in. He rakes into the 3rd string and bends the 14th fret, and then comes back to the 12th fret with some stinging vibrato. Then he comes down the scale, so 14-12 and 14-12 on the 4th string, and then he continues back up to the 14th fret, and then comes down on the 5th string, 14-12, and ends on the 15th fret of the 6th string. So you have... Alright, and then he alternates that with the same, he does the same bend and rake, and that's, during this part, he's really, that's, one of the great things about his technique is, when he plays one note, he plays the whole guitar, so he's really raking into that bend, and then comes down the same lick, but then instead of going down to the 5th string, we go up to the 3rd, and then kind of like bend the 3rd string, 14th fret, and then play the top 2 strings on the 15th fret. So we have... So that's almost like a little sequence. He hits that low G note there. In other tunes, he'll actually do the E note also. But here, the bass player is playing a G, so it sounds like a G, but it's coming down to one of those bass notes. And he alternates that with that high string, bending the 3rd string and then hitting the top 2 strings. All right, so one more time, slow for lick number 5. Remember, rake into this bend, really important. Lots of vibrato there. Come down in a sequence. Then do the same rake and bend. Come down the scale to the 4th string, then go back up to the 3rd string and bend it, and pick the top 2 strings together. And that's lick number 5. So one more time. Well, that wraps up this edition of my 5 favorite licks featuring Stevie Ray Vaughan's legendary performance of Little Wing live. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and a subscribe. And if you have any ideas for future 5 licks performances that you think I should check out, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear some of your ideas. If you'd like to study with me either online or in person, I would love to be your guitar teacher, and we'd love to have you join the Lot More Guitar family. So click the link below and contact me today, and let's get started. And I'll see you in the next lesson.